Numbers don't lie, but the suits sure do. They printing that paper while you chasing what's due. Ledger got no borders, can't fake what's true. Digital escape hatch, I'm breaking through. Blindfolds tight, but my vision stay clear. System rig heavy, still I persevere. Centralized puppets, man, they pulling them strings. I'm out here stacking sets while they sell you false kings. Decentralized dreams, we breaking the seams. Freedom ain't free, but I'm chasing the means. Blockchain the truth, no shadow regimes. Decentralized dreams, yeah, decentralized dreams. Fiat's a leash and they got us on choke. Inflation's a virus, whole system's a joke. Gold got heavy so they turned it to smoke. Now I hold private keys, ain't no chains on my throat. Bank runs coming, man, the writing's on walls. Bailouts for the rich, crumbs for us all. But code don't lie, it's trustless and raw. They fear what they can't own, so they outlaw. 21 million, the people's decree. Math over muscle, that's financial decree. No middleman tax and my wallet stay free. Numbers don't lie, but the suits sure do. They printing that paper while you chasing what's due. Ledger got no borders, can't fake what's true. Digital escape hatch, I'm breaking through. Blindfolds tight, but my vision stay clear. System rigged heavy, still I persevere. Centralized puppets, man, they pulling them strings. I'm out here stacking sats while they sell you false kings. Decentralized dreams, we breaking the seams. Freedom ain't free, but I'm chasing the means. No shadow regimes. Decentralized dreams, yeah, decentralized dreams. Fiat's a leash and they got us on choke. Inflation's a virus, whole system's a joke. Gold got heavy so they turned into smoke. Now I hold private keys, ain't no chains on my throat. Bank runs coming, man, the writing's on walls. Bailouts for the rich, crumbs for us all. But code don't lie, it's trustless and raw. They fear what they can't own, so they outlaw. 21 million, the people's decree. Math over muscle, that's financial decree. No middleman tax and my wallet stay free. 21 million. 21 million. 21 million. Numbers don't lie, but the suits sure do. They printing that paper while you chasing what's due. Ledger got no borders, can't fake what's true. Digital escape hatch, I'm breaking through.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna ride the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours into your edge and financial freedom. Looks like the mic's a little low today. Let me get that fixed. Don't know why. It actually worked today, though, so that's kind of nice. But get that volume where it needs to be. There we go. Awesome. Got that all fixed. Hopefully that sounds a bit better. At least it actually worked when I started the show for once and I didn't kick it off. But, you know, what we're seeing on the charts, a little bit of some green movements on the TradFi. We do have some sell-off that happened in the crypto markets. We will get to some news here in just a second because I got a few news articles to go over. We got some stories coming out of Nvidia. You know, there's been a little bit of a trend coming from them for a while. We do have a rare earth metals kind of battle going on the global stage, and we will get to that news article as well. But before we get to all of that, let's dive on in to this stock heat map and get you prepped for some success today. We are seeing a little bit of some sell-off and a little bit of some upside movements. So let's dive on in, see what we got going on, because it is going to tell a story. We've got Apple sitting down 0.69%. We've got Nvidia sitting up 0.3%. We got Berkshire Hathaway up 0.04%, sitting in that neutral range. We got Amazon down 0.78 this morning. Eli Lilly also sitting to the downside 0.1%. We've got ExxonMobil sitting up 0.41%. We've got Tesla up 0.25. It was sitting very, very close to neutral when we started out today. So seeing just a little bit of some light buying pressure. We got P&G up 0.28. We got Microsoft up 0.25. We got Google up 2.19. And we've got Meta sitting up 0.26. Hopping over to the crypto markets this morning, we're seeing quite a bit of red bubbles here. We did get a little bit of a push up on that London Open, but not holding too steady. We've got Bitcoin sitting down 0.2%. We've got Ethereum down 1.1%. We've got BNB down 1%. XRP down 1.4%. We've got Solana sitting down 1.3%. We've got Tron with no change on that board. We've got Dogecoin sitting down 2%. Cardano down 2.2%, Chainlink down 2.8%, we've got Stellar Lumens down 1.8%, Hyperliquid also sitting down 1.8%, we've got Bitcoin Cash up 0.5%, but starting to see some sell-off on that hourly. We've got SWI sitting down 3.3%, Avalanche down 2.4%, Leo token holding quite steady, down 0.1%. HBAR sitting down 1.7%, and Litecoin sitting down 0.5%. TON is making some moves on that market cap, so I might have to take a look at that one here a little bit later. If you got any alt requests to have me look at later in the show, go ahead and start throwing those out now, and we will get to those when we can. We've got that fear and greed meter sitting in fear for the stock still. Not too unexpected. We did see a decent little sell-off the other day. And we've got those crypto markets sitting in extreme fear right now. You know, we are trying to hold some key levels we've talked about for quite a while. And we'll kind of have to see if we get some continued pullback and if we can hold a key level that I was calling out the other day. So let's get over to that liquidation heat map because we've got quite a bit of liquidity towards the top side here on this daily. That top side range starting at 114,700 all the way down to 114,000. So quite a broad range for some top side liquidity. Really gonna have to see if we can hold some key levels below us and then get a little bit of momentum to take us up to that top side liquidity. Zooming on out, taking a look at that 3-day. That 3-day also looking quite similar, where we've got all of this liquidity towards the top side. We're starting to get a little bit of liquidity piling up directly below us. Some people entering some longs, hoping this is the bottom. We'll kind of have to see if they're right on that or not. We've got that starting at 107,200 and ranging all the way down to about 106,700. So we'll kind of have to see how that goes for today. Definitely could grab up that liquidity real quick and then continue on towards the upside. We did get a nice little liquidity grab this morning, and we'll go over that here in just a second. This 2-week also starting to look a little bit nice. Oh, I don't know why it didn't load for the live stream, but it loaded for me earlier. I don't know what's up with that 2-week on this, but we do have a little bit of liquidity way down here on this. You can kind of see if you have this on the monthly, where the liquidity would be on that 2-week, and that's sitting all the way down at 103,300. So that's a bit of an area to kind of keep your eye on if we can't hold some of these key levels that we will talk about in just a second. Getting on over to that Bitcoin chart, say good morning to the people in the chat. We got several people in here bright and early. Alexandra G, the mod queen, first in the chat this morning. Good morning to you. We've got Steve Hickey in the house. We've got JR as well. Good morning to you guys. Hope you're having a great morning so far. We've got Jay in the house. We've got Donato Cabrera in here. We've got Dylan VA as well. Good morning. We've got Crypto Billy. Good morning, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far. Let's see. We got DDT in the house. We've got J Violet in here as well. Good evening to you. I see Zcash is requested. We can take a look at that. Did I see that right? Did J Violet long some gold? We can take a look at that gold chart too, because it did get a nice pullback. Jay saying gold woke up and chose some violence. Yeah, continued a little bit of some sell off, but you know, we were talking about that the other day, so we'll kind of have to see how that all plays out. I'm not seeing any other alt requests for now, but if you got some, throw them out there, and we will get to that in just a second. We got one of my buddies watching on X. Good morning, Cam. Hope you're having a great day so far. All right, let's get into this Bitcoin chart, see what we got going on. I do want to break down something that I didn't get to on the Discord yesterday, and that's some kill zones. We talked about that the other day. We didn't really get the chance to break it on down, so we will do a little bit of a breakdown on some kill zones this morning. All right, this daily is looking a little bit iffy here as you're starting to get that little bit of a rollover on your prime oscillator sitting in the light red, and your money flow is at that point where you could start seeing some sell off here. You're also getting that little bit of light curvature back down to the downside on the MACD as well. We really need to start seeing some liquidity coming in to get this to start to go sideways and to get that curvature back towards the upside here. If not, we do have those levels we've already wicked from back here that are starting to look a little bit interesting. I called it out a while ago. There's this fair value gap that we played around in before, got the bounce off of the 236 here, and then continued on towards the upside. That is an area I'm watching if we don't hold some of these key levels directly where we're at now. We do have the 108,200 that we have already lost this morning, looking back down to 106,100 as that next area I'd kind of look for some potential bouncing at. You can see that nice strong wicking action we got off of it last time we were down in that area. Definitely got a lot of buying pressure below that, but a lot of those limit orders could have already been wiped out with these strong moves below it, and that could give us a little more downside here. So taking a look at that 1 hour here, we are starting to see a little bit of sideways momentum coming in on our oscillators. As you can see now that I'm zoomed on into those 1 hours, you can see those kill zones. We will get to that in just a second. It looks a little bit better on the 15-minute. BC, can you add OKLO and SMR to the list? I definitely can. We got OKLO, SMR, and we got Tau requested as well. Can take a look at that one as well. I did sell off a little bit of OKLO yesterday. I did call that one out. Potential for a little more downside, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. We are seeing a little bit of some bottoming action here on our prime oscillator. You've got that clipping on out. Your volume's a little bit low, but the money flow here is the big worry for me. You are seeing that sell off really accelerating here as that that money flow gets the curvature back towards the downside here, and you're really losing that key level that we had shouted out the other day. We're unable to hold 111,800, and that has been that area I want to see us hold if we're really going to continue bullish. So failing to really hold that over and over and over again has really had me favoring those shorts. And full transparency, have been shorting way more than I've been longing. I find those areas where we'll probably reject from, and I enter my short, because even though we're in a little bit of an uptrend here, we are at that point where it looks like we can get a reversal. We've got that nice little liquidity grab towards the upside, and it looks like we're going to make a lower high here, a lower low here. So keep your eye on that. That could push us down to those levels we've shouted out before. We've got that 15-minute and the morning looking like you're going to see some continued downside here. And we will get to that kill zone here in just a second. As you can see, we lost that 108,200 this morning after trying to hold it with that London session. And then we got that continued move towards the downside. We were trying to break below the low. We are trying to break below the lows from our sessions from the other day. We had Asia market and London market setting those lows down here at 107,500. We're really looking to sweep below that. We've got our nice little area where we could potentially see some bouncing at 107,725. If we don't get that bouncing action, really looking to the downside there, losing those market lows from the other day, and seeing that money flow really continue towards the downside, prime oscillator continue towards the downside, and MACD failing to get above that zero line really shows us where the momentum is for the morning. Definitely have those key levels directly below us as well that I called out earlier. Going to be that 106,100 to start seeing some support if you don't hold our zone from back here, which is about that 107,500 range. So the lows from here are the highs from here. If you lose those, 106,100 is that next area to really look for some bouncing at. And then seeing where that higher term time frame is, because if you get that continued rollover on the daily, that the levels down at 102 start to look a little bit interesting there. All right, we did talk about some kill zones here, and we will get to those right now. As you can see, we got a little bit of a move towards the upside this morning. Let me get that to the 1 minute. You can see it a whole lot better here. These are called kill zones. They are in your trading markets. You have London open, you have Asia open, you have New York open, and New York close. Those are your key areas of the trading day where you see the most volume here. And as you can kind of see in this in-between time, you sweat below those Asia market lows. London opens, you get a few candles here, and then you really get that pushback towards the upside here. Grabbed up a little bit of liquidity from this move, and then you got that continuation towards the downside. So these are those kill zones that I was talking about the other day. You really start seeing those big moves when you get into the kill zone. I like trading them a lot. London is my favorite since I wake up bright and early. You get a lot of big moves here, a lot of reversals. Sometimes you get that move towards the upside, you get that failure to retake some levels from the Asia markets, and then you get that stronger move towards the downside. Kind of what you got here. I shorted from this lower high, and then we got that nice continuation towards the downside here. Really waiting to see if we break below the lows here, and then that's kind of one of my first take profits, and then we'll see if we can get below 107,500. You can kind of see the same thing happens in these Asia market time frames. You get that nice little break towards the downside here when Asia opens up. Let's get that zoomed on in a little bit better there. You get that nice little move up in our in-between times here, and then you get that nice sweep of liquidity and a move towards the downside with some strength, kind of directly to those key levels that we shouted out the other day. So those kill zones, in your trading areas are the big movers of the day. It is one of the easiest time frames to kind of catch the bigger moves. That's when a lot of money starts heading into the market to really get that movement one direction or another. You can kind of see the same thing happens for New York PM. You get that nice move off of our key area from 111,800. You fail to retake the levels from here, and then you move to the downside with strength. And then New York Open, same thing here. You get that move to a key level and then blast it off towards the upside. So those kill zones are very, very effective time trading. You can get that indicator here. Let me get that moved on up. With kill zones and sessions by Trading Finder. So it highlights the whole area here for the trading window, and then it colors in the area of the kill zone. So if you zoom it on in a little bit there, you can see the kill zone itself is highlighted, and then the kill zone here highlighted, and then same thing for the Asia market. The kill zone is highlighted during the whole trading window. So I like using those. Go to indicator, search market session times. Yeah, that's another good one as well. There's several kill zone indicators out there, so ICT is another way to find that one. But let's get on over to the news for today, because we did have several things to go over. I did want to touch on what happened with Amazon the other day and AWS. They said it was a denial of oh, I don't know what happened there. It must have clicked on something. There we go. Amazon said it was a denial of service error. So there was a lot of tinfoil hats. We will go over that a little more in depth on the tinfoil hats that we did here online, and then some other things that might have happened on CCM's channel on Tuesday. He does a Tuesday show every single week at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So that is where we're gonna go over those DNS is well, DNS, it's an error which denied service. It's not like an attack. It is a DNS error which has a denial of service. It's not like a DDoS attack or anything. It is an error on their end which failed to allow the allowed the servers to run. So we will get into more of that on Tuesday, though. So DNS, and we've got Nvidia news here. Jensen Huang says Nvidia went from 95% market share in China to 0%, and I can't imagine any policymaker thinking that's a good idea. Let me get into this news article here. We got Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang urged nuance when it comes to regulating China's access to U.S. technologies that are critical to developing artificial intelligence. In an interview with Citadel Securities on Tuesday, he warned that what harms China can often harm the U.S. and sometimes in worse ways. Before we leap towards policies that are hurtful to other people, take a step back and reflect on what policies that are helpful to America. His words of caution comes as Nvidia processors have become a hot commodity in the AI race, as well as a political bargaining chip in the U.S.-China trade war. Hung said that he'd like the world to run on U.S. know-how, but noted about half the world's AI researchers are in China. I think it's a mistake to not have those researchers build AI on American technology. Trying to strike a balance between his goal of maintaining U.S. tech supremacy along with access to China will require nuance rather than an all-or-nothing approach, Huang said. But that's not the case now. Nvidia is 100% out of China. We went from a 95% market share to 0, and so I can't imagine any policymaker thinking that's a good idea, that whatever policy we implemented caused the US to lose one of the largest markets in the world. Definitely been the trend since the Biden administration started this one out with the CHIPS Act. Bitcoin dumping hard. Let's see. Oh, yep. There's that move to even lower than I was shouting out there. My TP2 already hit with that move towards the downside, trying to reclaim that 107,500 area. Let's get back to that news real quick. This is one of those areas that I was kind of watching for. So we'll get back to those charts here after we get through this. We've talked about this before. AI is that biggest push in our economy right now. You've seen a lot of money dumped into AI, and this is that worry for us right here. We've got Nvidia being the backbone to the AI sector, and we're using this as a bargaining chip against China with some other things as well. We're really threatening their manufacturing sector with a lot of the tariffs that we've put out, and we're kind of putting some pressure on them. But I do agree with Huang that this is a very negative thing. You do want the best things that we make in America over in China and around the world. It does give you a little bit of leverage, and them being 100% out of China gives you a little bit of some bargaining. Nvidia makes the best chips in the world for AI, and you can go to number 2 or number 3, but at the end of the day, you're going to want the best, and keeping them out of the Chinese markets does nothing but actually hurt American companies. So it is not a long-term deal that'll really hold up. Definitely hurts us more than helps us. So I do agree with them. We will kind of have to see how it all plays out. I did see the call out of a potentially 155% tariffs on China. Not long-term sustainable. So we will keep that in mind as we get into the rest of this month. Trump's $8.5 billion deal with Australia challenges Chinese dominance. And this is why you've seen a lot of deals coming out with Trump and some other countries. We've been trying to get back into some supply chain security. New frameworks for supply chain security, the agreement titled the U.S.-Australia Framework for Securing of Supply in the Mining and Processing of Critical Minerals and Rare Earths, established a bilateral response group to coordinated policy, investment, and project delivery. President Trump and I agreed today that we will work very hard together in both of our nations' interest. We have agreed today Australia and America are going to make more things together with our historic framework on critical minerals, Albanese said. Commitment in the joint investment. The framework will channel billions in joint investments into mining, refining, and advancing manufacturing projects vital for defense technology. The Export-Import Bank of the United States has issued 7 letters of interest worth $2.2 billion, unlocking up to $5 billion in total investment. Furthermore, direct contributions from both governments will be $3 billion over 6 months towards an $8.5 billion project pipeline. Australia's superannuation funds are also expanding U.S. exposure, expected to rise to $1.44 trillion by 2035, fueling technology and energy ventures across both economies. And this is as it said, a bit of a threat to China. China has most of the refineries when it comes to these rare earth metals. When it comes to lithium, they've got a 95% monopoly when it comes to refining lithium, and putting a little bit of a pressure on China when it comes to things like this are a little bit helpful. We can do those things here in America. We can make partnerships with other countries so that we're not in such supply constraints. It is going to take time. I did talk about some big companies that are going to be diving into this as well. We'll get over to one of those companies here in just a second. Let me get that chart pulled on up. Cat just bought an Australian company which is dealing with a lot of these refineries and mining processes in Australia. And this is why I did think that there was going to be a deal coming out with Australia. Let me get to that chart here. We got Cat. Cat has been on an absolute tear towards the upside. I've talked about it a few times here. Not only are they in the rare earth scene, but they're also manufacturing a lot of energy for these AI businesses. Cat making new all-time highs here. As you can see, we did get that nice little bounce off of the one line. We are seeing a little bit of sell-off, but we've been seeing that sell-off across the market here. But Cat, big moves in that mining industry in Australia. So we did call that one out a few weeks ago, and not too surprising that a few weeks later we get this nice deal with Australia on mining rare earth minerals. We got French Toaster in the house. We got Frank in the house as well. GOT, the CME gap. Let's see who else we got here. All set in the house. Good morning to you. Anyone else here? Not looking like anyone else chiming on in. We got a bunch of lurkers in the background as well. So good morning to all you lurkers. Hope you're having a great day. All right, we did have a few requests to get into. Let's get into those stock requests. Since we're already on my stock page, we got Jesse Gluck in here as well. Good morning. I missed you. He said I was late today. It's okay, Jesse. You know, I've been struggling with my morning show, missing days, and today I've been trying to get back on trend. So it's been a little bit difficult. My girl's been sick, and you know, it's put a damper on things when I gotta carry more of the weight around here. So also up later taking care of things and things like that. So we did see SMR requested. So this one is one I called out. It's been one of my favorites here, and we got that move above our CME gap. This was an area I said that if we got back above, that I would end up selling some off. I did sell off. Also with OKLO, I called out a level before that if we got below, I was going to take some profits and wait for some lower entry points. We are still in a bit of an uptrend here. As you can see, we've got those higher lows coming on in. Really looking a little bit iffy on the higher term time frame though. So definitely looking for some lower entries on my nuclear positions. We've got that curvature here on that MACD starting to print those red candles on the histogram. Your money flows in the red on your daily, and if you zoom it on out to that weekly, you're really breaking towards that money flow in the red. So you can see you've got that nice little curvature of money flow, and you've got that rollover on your prime oscillator all over again. MACD really pointing towards the downside as well here, and below our indicator line. So really waiting to see if we get those drops back below to about $33, see if we can get a little bit lower as well. So few areas to the downside to kind of watch for on that one. 33.78, we did get a lot of bouncing off of that level before. If we don't hold those areas, maybe looking all the way back down towards a CME gap from way back here. Let's get that zoom back on into the daily time frame so you can see it a little bit better. You can see here we've got a bearish divergence on our daily time frame. Higher high here, lower low here. Your momentum's really rolling over as well. We don't have the bearish divergence on our MACD here, but you definitely have it on that prime oscillator as we're losing a little bit of momentum. We will kind of have to see if that China tariff really plays out with some more downside action on the TradFi markets, and if so, looking back down towards that platinum pocket area to about $33 would be a nice little buy area. And if we can't hold that range, looking all the way back down to about that golden pocket to our CME gap would be that next range I'd look for. Definitely depends how that money flow goes. We are seeing quite a bit of sell off across the board. Your markets are trying to open up towards the upside today, but we've got a lot of resistance directly above us here on SMR. You can kind of see we've played with that CME gap from here, closed it on out finally, and we're looking like we're trying to get back above what we saw as resistance before. That money flow is in that dangerous point here on the hourly, but you're starting to see that curvature on your prime oscillator and MACD. Really going to have to wait to see if we can get back up towards the levels that we dumped from yesterday, about $40.50 there. So let's get it over to OKLO. That's another one of my favorites in that nuclear sector. I did talk about if we lost 145, I'd be doing some sell off. 146, that was at 3382 on our fib extensions. If we lost that, I'd be selling off. I'm okay with a little bit of some loss as we tried to wait to see if we could hold those levels. We did get a nice little bit of a bounce here at the end of the day yesterday, but your higher time frames are looking extremely worrisome. So definitely at a level where you could start seeing a little more sell off if you zoom this on out. Let's get to that weekly time frame. You can see some sell off and some downside action is not too bad. You know, I've got some buying that I did way back here at the like $50 range, and we got that move all the way up to almost $200. So a little bit of some downside action is okay for me. I've already secured a little bit of profit and looking for some lower entries here. Your money flow is starting to stagnate here on the higher time frame. Your volume's really starting to get a little bit low after you saw those really big moves towards the upside. Not too unexpected. I do expect some people are looking for some lower entries. That daily time frame also getting that rollover. You've got that divergence here on your prime oscillator, lower high, a peak seeker coming on in. Your money flow really stagnating here on the daily time frame as well. Your volume's extremely low as well. So it does kind of say that you might get that lower entry point before you start seeing that pickup of volume and your money flow starting to come back in. People selling off after like 400% gains is not unexpected. So OKLO definitely looking a little bit nice for a little bit of a lower entry here. I did sell off at that 146 range, and I'm potentially looking for us to come back down towards our CME gap. Army Piper in the house, up early, had a nightmare. Well, I hope you are able to get a little more sleep, and if not, we will get you prepped for some success today. So glad to see you here. You're not here very often, but I'm glad you're in the chats this morning. I know you called out some of these levels too yesterday when I said look at OKLO, and definitely at that point where you could continue to see a little bit of some sell off pre-market. Looking like it's coming all the way back down to 138 here. We did close out a CME gap from there. We've got this nice CME gap to kind of keep your eye on. Nuclear, I did warn, could be in a little bit of a downtrend after the massive uptrend that it's had for quite a while, and really waiting to see if we get back to that 130 area, top side of our CME gap. That is our first support area to keep your eye on. Our next support area to really keep your eye on is way down here at about $110. So that's that next real area of interest for me if we don't hold $133. We got the shorter term time frame having a little bit of some bouncing here, but we've got some resistance now above us. That 146 area is going to be some resistance with that pre-market really open up towards the downside, could continue with some strength there. That hourly was just getting to some red money flow here, and first reversal signal and some overbought signals, not looking like it's going to be pushing the market up at all here. As I said, 400% moves towards the upside tend to be followed with a little bit of some sell-off here. So if you didn't get into nuclear, looking back down to those 130 areas to 110 would be that area of entry for you on some nuclear with OKLO. They do have a big government deal with the Department of Energy to make new nuclear reactors, so might be that area of entry for you if you didn't get in back when I was calling it out at the beginning of the year. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. You all are cheeky otters, aren't you? Always. We have some fun here in the chats. We might get to a little bit of a degenerate side sometimes, but we like to keep it fun. We got Silver Days XRP in the house. Good morning to you. Let's see who else we got here. Not seeing any other alt requests, but we got Zcash and Tau, and we have time for one more. Sounds like absolute poop. I've never seen or heard of it till Andrea and the white paper fundamental queen mentioned it. What was that one? Y'all talking about some degen projects there? Let's see. TP on Sol Long. What did y'all get into on some Solana? Let's see what we got. We got, Cadena. Zbeck as well. All right, we got Zbeck. We can take a look at that. Zbeck. All right, got it on the list. Let's hop into some of these alts. We had Zcash requested. Zcash. Let's see. Coinbase chart. I guess I haven't looked at it on the Coinbase chart. I'm not sure where I looked at it on, but we can do this from a naked chart here. Let's get to the weekly, see what's going on. Nice little consolidation range. Moves towards our old all-time highs, and saw some resistance. We do at these very equal candle bodies there. That is why I like pulling levels from candle bodies. It shows a little more confluence there. Let's get that horizontal ray drawn out, make it a higher term time frame one, lock it on out. That's that resistance area for us, 306. We need to get that nice push up. Let's get some Fibonacci levels pulled on up here. Fib extension maybe from our low to our high to our low. See what we're looking at for the golden pockets that we would have hit. Looks like we fell just a little bit short of the 4618 there. And that's a little bit higher than our strong resistance area. We are holding up that 2618 quite nicely though. As you can see here, that is where we got our bouncing off of. We got our bouncing off of the 16182. So it's really like in those golden pockets. I would look for a little bit of a retest on top of the 3618 at 254 with how toppy everything is looking. Didn't really get that strong retest on it before. So let's get that zoomed on in. Take a look at our daily here. Looks like we're trying to hold up that area right now. We've got a lot of resistance directly above us at that 4236 here. As you can see, we got that higher high and looking like some divergence on our MACD here. So definitely looking like that MACD as well is coming in with a little bit of sideways momentum and some potential curvature back towards the downside if you see this strong resistance coming on in all over again. Let's see, with a shorter term time frame, what we're looking at for some local resistance. Let's get that drawn on up on the hourly. We've got some local resistance directly above us from our wicks. Let's get that horizontal ray drawn out here. That's going to be 282.38 to potentially look for some resistance at on the shorter term time frame. That has been our area where we've rejected from 3 times now. If you can get above that, you've got that potential area of resistance at 293.44. We are in an uptrend here. You've got your higher highs, you've got your higher lows as well, but you've got your money flow starting to stagnate and your volume is a little bit low. So that area to kind of look for some potential re-entry of money flow and some volume would be either retaking our highs at 282 or looking back down towards the downside here. You did get that nice little bounce off of that golden pocket. Really waiting to see if you can get that move above our resistance, and if not, cooling off just a little bit more on those higher time frames and shorter time frames as well. Money flow is looking a little bit iffy on that hourly, 15-minute, and the morning looking a little bit cooled off here, but you got a lot of divergences starting to stack up. A little bit of a peak seeker here after that push off of our resistance area at 282 all over again. Let's get it zoomed on in a little bit more there. As you can see, that is our local resistance that we really need to get above if you want to continue towards the upside there. You do have that potential resistance at 293.67 if you get above it, and strong resistance at 306.85. You are in some red money flow this morning, so that's why I'd potentially look for that resistance all over again. We are trying to do some battle with that. You are still in a little bit of an uptrend here on the shorter term time frame after that nice move towards the downside off of our strong resistance area. So that was Zcash. Let's take a look at Tau here. TAO. Been a long time since I've taken a look at some Tau. We got it here on that one. Looks like, dang, respecting some old levels that I haven't seen in a while. So getting that move off of 458.97. And then we're really trying to see if we can get back above the 50 here. We had that nice little consolidation range here above our golden pocket. This would have been a nice little push down that we saw across the markets. Really swept up liquidity that was below these lows here. And now we're trying to see if we can get back above the 50% line on our fib retracements and hold it. I don't know what my mouse just did there. There we go. Sorry about that. Trying to get above the 50% line here and hold it with some strength. We are at least maintaining the highs from back here, which is kind of nice. We did get that liquidity grab, bounce off a 349 and continued on up towards the upside where we saw our strong resistance all over again at 458. So a little bit of an area to kind of keep your eye on. Let's get this zoomed on in. Daily time frame is looking a little bit iffy here as that MACD is rolling over just a little bit, but it's doing so with a little bit of sideways momentum. So definitely going to have to watch the shorter term time frames and see how that money flow goes. Tau in a little bit of a downtrend here as you have those equal highs. Equal highs often like to get swept because there's liquidity above it. So would need to get above that 50% line first. Really gives you that ability to make a higher high. You've got our first low. You've got a potential higher low here. So this is that area you'd potentially look for a reversal of trend. Would really solidify it with that move above the 50. You are missing out on some percentages, but that is that area that you would want to see hold as some support that would give you those stronger moves towards the upside there. So missing out on a few percent here, about 6% there, would give you a much higher ability of above here, which is that above a 10% move towards the upside. So that would also give you some nice confluence on those higher term time frames. 15-minute and the morning, looking like we've got that ability to continue towards the upside, especially with that hourly being nice and cooled off and starting to get that curvature towards the upside. You have a little bit of local resistance to get above. That's coming in off of our candle bodies at $400. So if you can get above $400, could really see that continuation move towards the upside. We are in a little bit of uptrend here, but do have that local resistance to kind of contend with first at that $400 range. You are seeing some nice curvature back towards the upside on the MACD and prime oscillator. Prime oscillator sitting in that light red. So really waiting for some money flow to start coming back in with some strength. And I would expect that to come back in if you can reclaim some of those key levels towards the upside. If not, you've got very strong support directly below us at 349 to like 340, that 345 area. So that's that area towards the downside to potentially look for. To the upside would be my favored areas, though. If you reclaim that 50, you've really got a lot of movements towards the upside that you could make. That next area above 358 would be 478. So a little bit of resistance above us, but definitely could reclaim those if you can hold that 50% line. So ZBEC was requested as well. We can get through it real quick. I know we looked at it the other day. I'm not sure on which one. Looks like it was here. Got that move back down to an area we were calling on out. That was 00359. Looking to potentially hold that and get some movements back towards the upside. Hourly looking like you're nice and cooled off here, starting to get those bullish divergences. And really waiting on that money flow to come back in. This is that area we had kind of called on out the other day. We are looking to potentially get back up to that with some money flow coming back in. So you do have 00393 being that area for resistance. That was an area we were potentially looking to hold for some support. And if not, looking back down here, ZBEC is looking nice and cooled off on the daily. You're getting that bullish divergence on your MACD as well. And you're really just waiting to see if you can get that money flow coming back in with some strength. So 15-minute and the morning also looking like you're a little bit heated up. So potentially looking for another little bouncing action down here. You do have some local resistance to kind of get above 00363. So area to potentially look for some resistance, a pushback down, and then continuation towards the upside. So that's what I got for some ZBEC on the shorter term time frame. And it's time to wind that show on down. So I appreciate everyone tuning on today. We had several people over on X and a decent amount of viewers here on YouTube as well. I appreciate every single one of you tuning on in. We got two other shows that we do here on the Piper Academy. That's that morning market report at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Great place to get that finish up of the macro that I set up for Piper, and he just spikes that ball. So definitely don't want to miss out on that 10 a.m. show. We also got Trading with OC every single day at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Great place to be if you like to trade and if you like to have some fun. So late night shows, and we got our morning shows every single day as well. Until next time, though, make sure to wake up, because today's going to be a good day.
wake the hell up. Charts ain't waiting and neither am I. It's BC Pork Corp, and this is Good Morning Crypto. Let's run it. Good morning to the streets, to the charts, to the grind. I ain't sipping no latte, I'm sipping on time. Woke up with the market in a headlock grip. See the wick break out, that's my exit flip. Digital hustle, I don't sleep much. Cold wallet thick like it just did crunch. Fiat crashing, I just laugh in the mirror. Good morning truth, now the picture get clearer. Yeah, I'm up before sunrise, no snooze on my plays. Whale still dreaming, I'm setting my trays. I ain't here for likes, I ain't here for clout. I'm here for that check when the trend breaks out. I spit blocks, hash race, halves and dates. Got alpha in my veins, no time for fakes. SEC lurking, but I move like a ghost. Mixing TA and game, call me the host. This my show, this my tone, this my throne. Good morning crypto, I stand alone. Good morning to the streets, to the charts, to the grind. I ain't sipping no latte, I'm sipping on time. Woke up with the market in a headlock grip. See the wick break out, that's my exit flip. Digital hustle, I don't sleep much. Cold wallet thick like it just did crunch. Fiat crashing, I just laugh in the mirror. Good morning truth, now the picture get clearer. Perpetual swinging, I'm a beast with the size. TA tight like the laces I tie. MACD crossing, I'm pressing that go. And my fib line stretching like it's crypto dope. Ain't no banker ever taught me this wealth. I learned from red days, had to fight for myself. Now I'm dropping fire before the coffee drip. Crypto cooking on its breakfast shift. Every candle's a warning, every flash a test. But I lace up my plays and I trade like the best. When rooms made for legends, not snoozers and sheep. This for the wolves who watch charts while they eat. This for the ones who said crypto's a scam. Now I'm paying my bills with a cold wallet jam. Salute to the grinder, salute to the bold. Good morning to those who ain't buying what they sold. Good morning to the streets, to the charts, to the grind. I ain't sipping no latte, I'm sipping on time. Woke up with the market in a headlock grip. See the wick break out, that's my exit flip. Digital hustle, I don't sleep much. Cold wallet thick like it just did crunch. Fiat crashing, I just laugh in the mirror. Good morning truth, now the picture get clearer.